So July 6th is almost here, and athletes and families are asking one big question. Can I still be on the roster if I'm not a designated student athlete? The short answer, maybe. But the full answer is way more complicated, and it depends on your status, your school's roster size, and what your coach tells you. In our last episode, I had a tremendous response on this platform, on TikTok, and everybody was asking question after question. But the most asked question was, how do I become a DSA, and do I need to be a DSA in order to play? We're going to get into that. But before we do, I'm going to reintroduce myself. I'm Coach Keith Mondillo. I spent 30 years in college athletics as a head coach and an athletic director. I've seen roster meetings, and I've seen how schools make decisions behind closed doors. And in this video, we're going to break down what happens after July 6th, especially if your name was not on the DSA list. We're going to talk about roster caps, your eligibility to compete, whether your scholarship is at risk, what your next steps should be, and what most families still don't understand about the rule. And don't forget, download my free guide, 10 Steps to Take When a Coach Doesn't Call After a Live Event. The link is in the description below. So let's recap about July 6th. Under the NCAA House settlement, all Division I schools that opt in must submit a list of designated student athletes, or DSAs. These are athletes exempt from the new roster caps in each sport. For example, here's a few roster caps in some key sports, and I'm going to put them up on the screen. Men's and women's basketball, 15, football, 105, baseball, 34, softball, soccer, 28. Every Division I program had to submit their DSA list by July 6th, which is coming up in a week. And once it was submitted, it was locked. No additions, no trades, and no do-overs. So let's get to the real question that I was asked over and over again the last week. If I wasn't tagged as a designated student athlete, can I still stay on the team? Yes, but only if you still fit under the sports roster cap. Let's say your team's cap's at 15. We'll use men's basketball as an example. If you're not on the DSA list, but you're one of the 15 rostered players, you're fine. You can practice, you can travel, and you can play like normal. But if you're the 16th guy, you cannot participate unless you're on that DSA list. You're on campus, still on scholarship, but not active. So clarifying DSAs versus non-DSA athletes. That's a huge myth right now. If you're not a DSA, you're cut. And that's not true, at least not as of now. Here's how it actually works. DSAs can exceed the roster cap. They are hand-selected by the school to be roster protected. Typically include starters, NIL athletes, and high-impact transfers. Non-DSAs must be included within that roster cap. They can still be on the team as long as the total number doesn't exceed the limit. You can still practice and compete if you're inside that cap. But once the team hits the limit, you're inactive unless you're a DSA. So what about scholarships? This is really important. Your athletic scholarship is not automatically canceled if you're not a DSA. According to the NCAA settlement terms and legal guidance, athletes may retain their scholarship even if they're not competing as long as they remain in good standing. So let's say you're that 16th guy on that 15-man men's basketball roster. You're not a DSA. You're not eligible to practice or play, but your scholarship remains intact. You're effectively a non-playing member on a team until a spot opens up or you make a change. The next conversation you must have. Here's what every athlete and family must do this week. is schedule a direct meeting with your coach. Ask these questions. Where do I stand in relation to the roster cap? Am I within the 15-man limit for basketball? Use the limit for your particular sport. If not, is there a path for me to stay active? Or should I be exploring other options? You need transparency right now and not guesswork. If your coach can't give you a clear answer or shows uncertainty, you must prepare for plan B. And what are your options if you're outside the cap? You have 3 real paths forward. Well, number 1, you got to transfer before it's too late. Use the NCAA one-time transfer window to find a better fit. Division 2, 3, or NAIA programs may now have more flexibility in open spots. 2, remain on scholarship and focus on academics. Stay enrolled, use your aid, and train individually. It's not ideal, but it's better than scrambling with no options. Number 3, explore walk-on or multi-sport options. If you're eligible in another sport, some schools may have space under those caps. Or talk to your AD about student assistant roles if coaching is an interest to you. And the bigger picture, and here's some bigger takeaways. Not being a DSA doesn't mean your career is over. It means the rules of engagement have changed. You now need a crystal clear understanding of your place on the team and your options moving forward. The worst thing you can do, assume everything's fine because you're still on campus. Now, there's so many things that students and families are in the dark about. I would suggest you go and speak to your head coach, your compliance officer, your athletic director immediately. July 6th is around the corner. And when I'm recording this at this point in time, we're only a few days away from the 4th of July. So have that conversation in the next couple days. It's imperative that you do that. So I'm going to leave you with this. In this new era of college athletics, where roster caps are tight and decisions are final, the players who win are the ones who know how to communicate, not just with talent, but with clarity, confidence, and timing. That's exactly why I created a new complete communication bundle. You'll get my full email playbook with 39 proven templates to start conversations, follow up after events, and re-engage with coaches when things go quiet. You'll also get the Q&A playbook so your athlete knows exactly what to ask on phone calls, Zooms, campus visits, and even when it's time to decide. And then plus, I've included a 4-year communication timeline, the same roadmap I've used with families over the years to take control of the process in front of coaches all the way. If your athlete wants to stay off the bubble and on the radar, this is how you do it. I've also included the Parents Recruiting Survival Guide in this bundle. It's imperative that every family starts out with that book. So grab your complete communication bundle now. The link is in the description below. Be the family that's prepared, just not hopeful. If you like today's episode, drop a comment if you have any questions about your athlete's current situation, and subscribe for more weekly guidance. I'm Coach Keith Mondillo. I'm a coach and strategist here to help you win this process with clarity and confidence. I cannot emphasize enough, this is a major moment in NCAA sports and college athletics. You have to be prepared, whether you're a student athlete currently at the NCAA or you're a high school junior or senior trying to get recruited. No one knows what court decision is going to happen in the next year or two that could change the landscape. So now, take control of your recruiting process. It's imperative that you have a communication plan and you have a clear path forward. Whether it's you partner up with your mom and dad, or parents, you partner up with coaches, administrators, have a clear path forward. It's imperative at this point in time. In 30 years in college athletics, this is the craziest this has ever been. And again, Signing off here, I'm Coach Keith Mondillo. Good luck, and I hope to see you on a college roster soon. Take care.